Welcome to House Edge. Before we start the episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube. And check us out on Twitter, TikTok, and Discord at House Edge Bet. Links down below. Enjoy the show.
Hey guys, and welcome back to House Edge. It's our college week 7 show. How you doing, Bert?
Doing good. I went 2-2 last week. You went 2-1, so we gave out winners.
Yeah, let's keep giving them out.
All right, yeah. Go ahead.
We start off the show with a common play. We're both taking Ohio State -3.5 versus Oregon. I still think the Oregon team that played Boise State is still that team. So I'm going to take Ohio State to beat the doors off them.
Yeah,
what you think?
Absolutely. I'm with you here. This is the week where Ohio State is going to set themselves apart from the Big Ten. They'll help us out as well. They'll get Penn State up into the top 3 for the first time in a very long time. But yeah, this Ohio State team just more talent than Oregon, and Oregon has shown weaknesses.
Absolutely. I think this is probably a 10-point game. This is really going to be a shocker.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the rest of my plays, I'm going to be taking the under 51 in the Oklahoma-Texas game. I think these two defenses, they're both in the top 15, playing in a neutral site. We're going to look at a low-scoring game somewhere in the 40s.
Yeah, I just have a really tough time taking a number this low in college, especially when you got high-profile quarterbacks like Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning on one side. I think Texas could put up close to 40 by themselves if they have a day that goes their way.
Yeah, if this doesn't cash, I do see it as the Texas offense just exploding on Oklahoma. But I definitely think that Texas's defense can hold Oklahoma to under 20 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm worried about Quinn Ewers coming back for such a high-profile game and the Cotton Bowl. I think there's going to be a little bit of rust that needs to be knocked off in the first 2 quarters, and that'll get us to the number.
Okay. Could see it happening.
I'm also going to be taking Ole Miss money line versus LSU. I just don't trust this LSU defense. And they're both going to score about the same amount of points. I think Ole Miss is going to be able to make enough stops to bring this one home.
Yeah. Kentucky turns out as a pretty good team. Ole Miss bounced back and beat the doors off of Syracuse last week. So I think they'll continue. They'll continue to play well and get the win definitely over LSU. LSU has not looked very good.
Yeah, that Kentucky loss is looking a whole lot better these days.
Right. Kentucky's for real for some reason. Who would have thought?
Yeah, at least against the real teams, they play up. And that wraps up my straight plays for the week.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm taking Clemson 20.5 point favorites over Wake Forest. Clemson just keeps proving that they can cover the spread. Wake Forest bottom feeder ACC team, and Clemson's almost catching the same number that they just beat. I'm sorry, who did they beat in Florida State by last week? And I think Florida State's a level above Wake Forest here.
Absolutely. I'm trying to find Clemson's numbers against the spread. You have a 4-2 on the money line.
I'm trying to find it as well.
Yeah, Clemson's been great. Again, I believe that they've been great against the spread. Definitely putting up a lot of points. New Dabo with the transfer portal actually works.
Yeah, they are 4-1 against the spread.
Yeah, okay.
Looking
Maybe I
good.
need to get on this too because I agree that Wake Forest is pretty bad.
And my last play, Penn State 4.5 points over USC. USC showed some crazy weaknesses dropping a game against Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota's looked good now against Michigan and USC, which maybe says more about them. But I think we'll be able to show that we're just one step above the USC Michigan level teams this year.
Yeah, so we called it at the beginning of the year. The Big Ten schedule was going to be very hard for USC. They just lost to Minnesota last week. That is really not on the tier of Big Ten teams that they should be losing to.
Right.
You would hope that they'd be right above them.
It's like losing to Cal.
Yeah, so I definitely like us to win this game at 4.5 points.
Yeah, Nick Singleton most likely coming back this game as well. He was out last week, which I think is a big reason why we didn't cover. And Drew looks good. Drew is looking like if he can keep this up, if he can pull off an incredible win against Ohio State, we're talking Heisman for Drew.
I mean, with Genty, I almost put in. That's another bet I almost placed this week. Heisman, Genty, his numbers are insane. He's playing top level competition. But then you have this Heisman race is one of the best Heisman races that we had in a long time. You got Genty, who's out here putting up amazing numbers. Travis Hunter, who is just a different type of athlete than we haven't seen in a long time.
Playing
and then, of course,
sides.
you got the star quarterback and Cam Ward.
Yeah, I mean, all three of those guys could deserve it with how they played so far this year. Genty in my eyes for sure.
I think he's probably he needs to be the favorite. Travis playing on both sides is really really hard to beat. I think Cam Ward eventually will get put out of the race because Miami, one of them close calls is gonna.
They're gonna lose one of these games. Yep.
Yeah.
It's gotten too close, and I mean, they had two calls go their way at the very end of the game that kind of decided it for them.
Yeah, they did.
Moving on to our parlays this week. For mine, I'm going to be taking Syracuse money line over North Carolina State. Pretty much the same idea of Clemson over Wake Forest. This is a bottom feeder ACC team in North Carolina State. Syracuse put on a good show against UNLV last week. They got the win, and I think they'll be able to beat North Carolina State. Kansas State over Colorado. I mean, Colorado is just not a team that's going to beat a top 20 team. Let's be real here. And Maryland over Northwestern. Northwestern is a bottom feeder Big Ten team. Maryland played respectable against Indiana. I believe they beat Michigan State, and I'll take them over Northwestern.
I like that play. I like this play. Syracuse definitely beats NC State. Kansas State is going to be a little bit too much for Colorado, especially. I don't think they can. They still can't stop the run.
Yep.
They've just been able to get away with it for the last couple of weeks. Maryland Northwestern is the only game I don't really have an insight on, but I hope it catches for you.
I think Maryland's favored by 9, so I hope they'll be able to cover that. Plus 193.
Go. And for my parlay, we start off. I have a common play as you. I'm going to be taking Syracuse over NC State. I'm going to be taking Penn State to beat USC, just because of the USC being at home. I'm going to play it safe without taking the points. And then I'm going to take Pitt to beat Cal. I was at that Cal Miami game. They played phenomenal, but I think the crowd really edged them on and gave them that oomph. I think they go to Pitt and they get beat down.
Yeah. Pitt is 5-0. One of the 12 remaining unbeaten teams in the country. I almost added them to my parlay as well. I just have not been able to watch Pitt at all and know anything about Pitt. So, hope they pull it off for you.
The numbers are good. If you're thinking about taking it.
Might add it.
So that wraps up our college football show. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe.
Yep. Thanks for watching.